Thank you, Toot.
Hello, good morning, friends. I think we still have about a minute left on ads, so I'm not gonna get right into things, but good morning. Hello, Toot. Hello, Mike. Enjoy your daily coffees. I see that Mike got the Toot special, and Toot got the nurse on a double shift special. And Cryptic, welcome in. Hello, Cryptic. Big hypes for our good buddy Cryptic. If you don't already follow him, he is a horror variety streamer. He hit 1,000 followers on Twitch last night. 1,000. That's amazing. Big hypes for him. And there is absolutely no one who deserves it more. But hello, hi guys. Good morning. Welcome in, happy Saturday. It's Saturday. I always have this like weird feeling like I need some kind of gimmick for my Saturday morning streams. I'm trying to break myself of this because I know you guys are just good hanging out with me. Thank you for the bits too. Thank you for the bits and the on-screen celebration. For Cryptic, big hypes. Amazing. Amazing. While I get the book out, I always feel like I need like some kind of gimmick for my Saturday streams, like a special, we're doing this today, but like I don't. You guys are just good to be here while I stitch, so that's what we're doing today. So Toot has unlocked the book. I debuted this on Thursday's stream. So this was the page for September. I used these huge stickers because I did not anticipate how much you guys enjoyed stickers. But this is the page for September. We hit 400 followers. We were star seller on Etsy. We had 13 Patreons, became an advanced GG ambassador, and a lot of people supported the stream. So on Thursday's stream, we started October's book. Here it is. Smaller stickers. All right, so we need a sticker for Toot. Oh, I know exactly what sticker. Because I saw this and I thought of them. It says boo and stuff, which is the closest I could get to I boo what I want. So there's Toot's little sticker. I'm gonna do some purple lettering. Toot. 40. So thank you so much for that. Thank you everyone who has supported the stream. Like last month we had an unreal month with September and I had so much fun putting together this community scrapbook for you. So if you want your own sticker in the book, you can subscribe, gift subs, cheer bits, or raid the channel. And then I'll also be putting in little like milestones that we reach in terms of the design business. Yes, these stickers unstick very easily from the sheet. That was another lesson that I learned, and I tested my stickers first. So I have like a few different sheets of stickers all on the same vibe that I'm gonna go through. This will be good. I'm excited. It's gonna be super cute. I like it. Ooh, geese stickers, yes. So yeah, there's our community scrapbook started. I think I'm gonna put like the thecozydh something on the front here and then like label it. But we've got lots of pages to go. Lots of months left. It's gonna be good. All right. So today I am stitching on a shop sample that will be coming out in a couple of weeks. But it's the first in a series, and I'm really excited about this because this design took a lot of skill building for me. It went through quite a few iterations, but I'm really happy with the final result. I mean, I'm still swapping out colors as I stitch it. Mike says I'm old-fashioned, like gum stickers that you have to lick. That's really old-fashioned. So I'm going to be working on Goblin Coffee. Unfortunately, what I did to myself, I'll show you guys. So this is, you may recognize the Hydration Goblin. Toot the Hydration Goblin. From another pattern that I did. There they are. Well, Toot the Hydration Goblin opened a coffee shop, and it's called Goblin Coffee, so that everyone can be hydrated. And so you can see there's a goblin doing some work on the laptop there. There's a goblin who has 3 drinks all to himself. A witch, because Goblin Coffee is for everyone. And then these 2 goblins are just enjoying a cuppa and some companionship. So yeah, so this is Goblin Coffee. And I have to fill in this entire block with like the stitching of the bricks. So I decided I was going to do some of that. I was going to leave it for last because I don't know why. But I'm going to do some during stream while I'm distracted. I've got, you can see in the little picture there. Oh no, you can't even see it in the little picture. There's a green awning here. So I can break it up. I can do, but I only have 3 colors left. I have the 2 greens in the awning and then the green for the back, the brick. And then there's a little tiny bit of back stitch. And then she's done. Good morning, Charles. Enjoy your coffee. We're working on Goblin Coffee today. Is that doing weird things on your screen or just on mine? Because it's the fabric is doing like a weird TV effect. And I can't tell if it's on the stream or just on my OBS. Because if it's just on my OBS, I won't worry about it. But if you guys are seeing... Nope, just me? Okay, cool. Cool. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome in. I was just talking about Goblin Coffee here, which is the first in a series. So you guys may know that, you know, we've got Toot the Hydration Goblin, Toot the Drink Goblin. You also, if you're familiar with Toot streams, you know there's Pastor Blaha, who is, you know, a shark pastor. And there's the Bob and Bob, the skeletons. Mike says, I'm looking for the goblin brand to grow to include goblin tapestries. Well, you might not know that Toot, the drink goblin, Bob and Pastor Blaha all live in the same town. It's just this little Midwest town. It's called St. Skelly. You know, pretty normal town. Just full of skeletons and talking sharks and things. So I'm going to be doing a series of buildings from St. Skelly, showcasing some of the town's residents and local businesses. So this is the first one of that series. Gwen says DH Lower Town. Yeah, pretty much. I've been having a lot of fun. Like, St. Skelly has lived in my head for a really long time, but I haven't figured out a good way to bring it to a design. It was actually going to be the theme for a Sal, but like I couldn't scale it correctly, if that makes sense. So you guys are familiar with my mini portraits, which I don't have any close at hand. But originally I was going to do them all scaled to the mini portraits. Maya, welcome in, Maya. Good morning, good morning. But I was going to do them all scaled to the mini portraits, but each little display, each building would be a huge piece. Yeah, exactly, Gwen. It would be big. They would be very large, because like if this guy was right now, he's how many? He's about 10 stitches tall. If he was 30 stitches tall, then this would again be 3 times taller. So it would be like this big by like this big. Which I think I could have done it. It would have been cute. I think I would have had a lot of fun with it. But it would have been a nightmare to stitch, and I don't think many people would have been interested in it. So I scaled down. I went the opposite direction. Crazy lady! Hello, hello. Crazy lady, it was so much fun watching you play DBD last night. Crazy lady was on Cryptic stream, dodging killers with him. It was fun. Up way past her bedtime. Mike says good morning to the gathering horde. Yep. Just you know, Saturday morning goblin coffee kind of morning. I'm just talking through my design process for this one. So my original idea of doing my minis was kind of out the window. So I went the opposite direction, and I said to myself, how small can I make the figures and still have them look like what they're supposed to look like? Like how few stitches can I use to have a goblin or a witch? And like this witch, her face is 2 stitches. Her hat is 5 across. But it's very clear that she's a witch. From the context, from everything like that, it's very clear that she's a witch. So that in itself was a new challenge, but it was really fun. And I'm really, really happy with the result. So you will see more in this style as we build out St. Skelly. so far what I have planned is the Church of St. Skelly, of course, and Pastor Blaha. There is Leshy's Greengrocer. Oh yes, Toot says, speaking of Cozy Bob. It's gonna be all over the place for a little bit. I'm gonna finish this thought and then I'm gonna do that thought. So that we have Leshy the Greengrocer. We have the Unhuman Society. Instead of the Humane Society, it's the Unhuman Society. There's gonna be a bookshop. There's gonna be like a witch's supply shop. The Bobs don't actually work in town. They've forgotten kind of like what they used to do in life. So they just hang out around the city. The Unhuman Society was Toot's idea, which I really like, because I wanted something like that was like the SPCA, but for St. Skelly. And yeah, the Unhuman Society really tickled me. But speaking of Cozy Bob, so you guys know how we have the kits up at Coffin Creek. Coffin Creek is our local horror-themed coffee shop. It's just our local coffee shop. It just happens to be horror-themed. And they have a small section for local artists. Thank you, Toot. There's the command. If you want to check them out, you can order online from them. They have a small section for local artists. I put out a limited run of kits just to see how they would do. We dropped by there yesterday and we've sold 5 kits so far, which is awesome. It was a very pleasant surprise. And the really cool thing, so there were several different designs. I got a knot in this, so I'm going to pick this out while I talk. So I did several different designs to kind of like see which ones would sell. And Cozy Bob sold out. Cozy Bob was the only kind of like original that I did. The others were like Michael Myers and Ghostface and Audrey 2 and that kind of thing. But Cozy Bob was like, he's mine, right? Like he's my own. And he sold out, which was so cool. Like that was like a really awesome surprise. So we sold all the Cozy Bobs. We sold 2 Audrey 2s from Little Shop of Horrors and 1 classic Pennywise from It. So those were not the ones that I expected to sell, but they did. I'm very excited. It was very cool. So I think definitely next time I do a run, more Cozy Bobs, maybe some Sweaty Bobs. We'll see. And Cozy Bob has been the most requested kit by you guys for if I do end up sending them out. I had a Sweaty Bob sample there. The sample is Sweaty Bob. So yeah, that was really cool. There's another alt store nearby that gets stuff from local artists that I might check out, and then there's a place in the mall that does stuff from local artists. That's like, it's a place in the mall, so that would be a different set of kits, but yeah, that was really I don't know, it was definitely a boost. So if you guys are ever in the Fortis, Ontario area, definitely check out Coffin Creek, and you can pick up a Cozy DH kit exclusively at Coffin Creek. If you are looking for like tiny spooky kits to get started with, I don't sell physical kits, but our good friend Liz does. Yeah, that's the Etsy link. So you can grab those from her. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. I would love to see the Saint Skellies in a kit. Like, I want it to be my Hawk Run Hollow, basically. Like, do a whole bunch of them. They work together, they work independently. But I want them to all be, all the buildings I want to be at the same scale. So if you do decide to stitch them on one piece of fabric, like as a street scene, you can do that without having to, you know, redesign it. But I had so much fun designing this one and throwing in all the little details. Like I've got the little pop-up chalkboard. I'm gonna do some white backstitch for lettering, and then these hanging lamps, which look nice and dimensional. Will Goblin Coffee have a logo mascot akin to the mermaid? No. Goblin Coffee, they keep it simple. Because their message is simple: hydrate. I was thinking of adding a GC to this coffee sign. Hi, Errol's. I was wondering when she would show up. She's been all over my desk today. All right, you have to figure out where to settle so I can still stitch. Okay. Thanks, Cheryl, for the appreciation. We're gonna appreciate this girl. Appreciate this girl. You're a good Earl. Yeah. Here, early. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna move this. Okay, that's Daddy's hydration. Here, you can lay down right here. Right in this area next to the controller. Okay? You can't lay down. No, you can't lay down there. You have to like scoot just right there. Okay. See if this works. Almost. I was watching a floss tube this morning. Becca is stitching, and she has a black cat named Diana who is this level of invested in what she's doing. Actually, no, it's more like Gigi level of invested in what Toot is doing. Early, it's a cross-stitch stream. I have to cross-stitch. Yeah, like this is the middle of the camera, Early. Here, we can tilt it a little bit this way. And then the middle's here. Okay. Oh, the people are calling for an early stream. I see. I see how it is. She says I wouldn't be mad at 2 to 3 hours of coworker appreciation. And Charles says early stream. Oh, I see how it is. I should just set up the camera to watch the warm pad in my office and leave it run for 24 hours. You guys would love it. Let's watch Early sleep for 18 hours and then watch her get bullied out of the spot by Binks, who can only stay still for 2 minutes. But Gwen was saying, I'm imagining those little ceramic houses people get to make seasonal towns on their fireplace mantle. That is kind of the vibe. That is kind of the vibe. Like, when you have the Limax is the brand that a lot of people do. I worked at Michael's. Limax houses were a big thing. When you get like the little, like, you get the coffee shop, and then you get like the bakery, and then you set up the little town, and then you change it seasonally. Or don't, if you're us and you just have Halloween decor up all year round. Hi, Earls. I know, you just want some love. The Girly, that's genius. I think we need to have the bakery. I was just wondering, I'm like, I don't have a bakery planned. Who could run the bakery? The bakery. I do want to have a bookshop. I don't know who's going to run the bookshop. In my head, like, there's so much canon. In my head, there's like the mummy, but the mummy is disabled and they're in a relationship with the werewolf. And the werewolf just like pushes them around in their wheelchair, and it's really cute. Just ghosts in the bakery. If you need a treat to lift your spirits, visit the bakery. People are dying to get in. A Pulte needs the bread. You just hear in the back just thundering yeets of bread dough. And the ghost in the front is like, no, it's fine. That's their process. We don't have one of those big mixers with the hook. We just have a poltergeist rattling around in a bowl. Like saying, I'm getting tiny town vibes. Good. Tiny spooky town. But I hope you guys will like these patterns. Like, I think they're pretty fun. This is just about 2,000 stitches, so it's not a huge project. And there is a little bit of backstitch, but not a ton. But I'm really proud of the amount of detail I managed to get into it. Like, really proud of that. Because like I said, my original drafts of this were gigantic, and I was just trying to figure out how to fill the space, which is a problem that I faced a lot when I was first designing, where I'd say like, okay, I want it to be, you know, this big by this big, but then I was kind of scrambling to just fill it with stuff, like just fill the space with whatever would fill the space. So I kind of I tried to move away from that and make it more intentional in the images and the motifs that I'm choosing. I don't know if you guys find that stuff interesting. I know most of you enjoy seeing me design on stream during the co-working streams. But I don't know if you like hearing all the background thought processes that go on. Toot says it is interesting that every time we go to Coffin Creek, we come home inspired. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I really do want to take some more afternoons and head over there when I don't have like a ton of admin work to do, just design work. Because the vibes, it's exactly the cozy, spooky vibe that I'm going for in my designs. the submission call for Just Cross Stitch magazine Halloween 2026 is open. So I've been designing my pants off for that. The timing is just a little bit off. Toot and I were talking about this. The timing is just a little bit off where it's not early enough that if I get rejected from the magazine, I can still put it out for this Halloween. But it's not late enough that, like, it's closer to next Halloween. But if my designs don't make it into the magazine, then I have just worked ahead for the next year, which is all good. Halloween Treats, which is the pattern that just came out this week. This week. Yes, today's Saturday. I just put it out on Thursday. Shoop. That was actually a reject from last year's Just Cross Stitch. Well, it was a reject from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2025. The magazine came out like a month ago. But I did the design for it like a year ago. Mike says, for me, the thinking aloud dialogue as you design is one of the best parts of watching you design. I like to know what you try and reject and not just what you finally decide to do. Oh, good. I'm glad. I have been thinking about doing some live design with me as mic'd, like so instead of the Stitch With Me Saturday stream. Because I've got a couple more that I need to do for Q4. I might work on that. I have so many like pop culture minis that I want to do. And I try to space them out, but then I end up like just spacing them out too much so that they're all lumped together again. I need to stop. I would really like to do some King of the Hill minis. I think that would be really fun. And I'm working on a set of Beast Wars ones. Charles' partner, JPS, who may or may not be lurking. If you are lurking, hi JPS. Randomly we got talking about Beast Wars. I think because I brought up the theme song for the 90s X-Men cartoon, which just lives rent-free in your head if you've ever heard it. Welcome back, Gwen. So that kind of led us on to like Samurai Pizza Cats and Beast Wars, which was called Beasties in Canada, which is a Transformers series. So I'm working on a set of Beasties minis. I've got like 2 more that I want to do. I've got Optimus Primal, Rhinox, and Rat Trap done. I want to do Cheetor and Dinobot. I was just going to leave it at Cheetor because Dinobot isn't one of the Maximals, technically. But Dinobot is JPS's favorite, so I want to do Dinobot. I always talk about the kind of the cauldron metaphor for designing, where I let things breathe. Not breathe, I let things brew. And they kind of like brew and simmer, like the Saint Skelly idea has been in the cauldron for months. I let things brew and I let things simmer, and then they kind of come to a boil, and I do a ton of designing all at once. And then I go back to like letting things brew and boil and come together. So a lot of the times it feels like I design things very quickly. Like I don't go through many drafts, but I think the thing is like I'm doing multiple drafts in my head. And I'm also doing more sketching. but like I'm doing multiple drafts in my head, so by the time I actually get to drafting it out in the program, I kind of have an idea of how I want it to be, and I'm just cleaning up details. Gwen says Cheetor was my ride or die for no other reason than cheetahs were my spirit animal as a small. I like Cheetor. I also liked Rat Trap, because I liked his personality. I actually met the voice actor for Rat Trap, because he was also the voice actor for Duo in Gundam Wing, and we all know that I was a huge Duo fan. Actually, I think I mentioned last week that my bestie for the restie is getting back into cross stitch. I was thinking of sending them some needle minders. And one of the ones I think I'm going to send them is one of my vintage anime pins. So this is Duo from Gundam Wing. I bought this pin in 2005, and that was the same convention where I met his voice actor. So I didn't get this one signed. I do have a signed poster by him. I don't know. It's in the house somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. I think I packed it away under the bed because I wasn't going to hang it up. I did pack it away under the bed because I wasn't going to hang it up. A coworker appreciation for Orly? Orly? You get a little coworker appreciation. Yeah, that's from Cryptic. The Mr. Cryptic Man. You know him. He yells on the TV. He yells at your mama. He goes, "Damn it, Toot." Mike asked, do you talk with other designers about their processes? A little bit. I mainly talk to other designers about the more technical business aspects of the business. Things like, you know, how do you use your social media? What kind of hashtags do you use to promote your stuff? You know, like how do you keep your records organized? That kind of stuff. We do talk a little bit about our processes. One person, I'm actually going to do another like friend shout out for can't remember, I think it's yes, okay. Manda from Infinity Bear. She actually does little videos of her designing pieces. Hey, CSDW, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. This is my early girly. This is Earl Jean Grey. No, she's a small cat. She's just standing up immediately in the camera. Really? Are you a big cat? Oh, you're just a little cat. But yeah, Amanda from Infinity Bear does little videos of her design process. They're really interesting. You can kind of see like as she tries different motifs and moves stuff around and does the pixel shading. Very cool. So I recommend checking her work out. If you sign up for her Patreon free membership, she'll send out emails with the little videos. Glenn says today is going to be an interesting melange of wild progress and feeling absolute death because you woke up at 3 and couldn't fall back asleep, so you got up at 6. But now let's finish the dress. You got this. You can finish the dress. Good job. The dress is gorgeous. I think all of us feel emotionally invested in your dress at this point. Girls, how did you manage to push me back away from the center of the... I was over here. I was here. Now I'm over here. I harassed her too much. She's done with me now. Hey, Lady A, welcome in. She's a good cut. Okay, you're coming back. Okay, come on. You can come back. The people are here for you. They don't want to see me. They just want to see you. Okay, you want to go down that way? All right. Early is a sweetie. She's a good girl. She's a lot girl, but she's a good girl. So what are you guys working on this morning as I slowly do the biggest block stitching ever? It's gonna look so good when it's done. Like, I'm so excited. I just know me and my ADHD, and one of the techniques that I need to do to overcome block stitching is to break it up with other stuff. Oh, thanks, yes. I got it for 20 bucks at Giant Tiger. I just wanted something little and easy to move around because, as you can see, I have 40,000 cats trying to climb all over my desk at all times. So this one I can just easily, like, sling in a drawer when I'm not at my desk. Toot is working on Leshy. Let's go. You should be finished the 939. Nice. There was like 2,000 stitches of 939 or something like that, wasn't there? There's a lot of 939. Lady A is waking up and going to be bobbinating the floss for your trip. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Tia says, I love that you love Halloween. Is anyone watching any good movies? Oh, we will be. Toot says in this section alone, yeah, 20k plus. 20k plus. Yep, that's a lot. 2k plus. Yikes. Charlotte is resting. Good. Take easy. Very important. Lydia says I might load up a needle with each color so you have them ready on the plane. That's a good idea. I've seen people do that, especially with like big full coverage. I would be too anxious with the 40,000 cats that we have that someone would swallow a needle, basically. I'm very... I like to keep track of all of my needles. Yeah, good Halloween movies. We were actually talking Thursday night on Moon's stream about a couple of my favorite movies. Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland is a ridiculous mascot horror movie starring Nicolas Cage. It's unhinged and campy, and I love it. And Toot says yes, or swallow floss. We don't want anyone to swallow floss or needles. Or Ada, in fact. And Mike is working on the little Halloween pattern called Pastel Pumpkin by Rosenrot. Yes, we love Rosenrot. I actually just picked up one of their other patterns. They have a new autumn one with like a little scarecrow. I just picked that one up. Yeah, if you ever need the Banshee's Bounty information, we have a command for that. TBB. typing in the wrong chat. Speak of the devil and they shall appear. Hello! Welcome in, Rosenrot. I hope you saw that Mike is working on your, one of your little freebies. Yeah, I have quite a few Banshee's Bounty patterns. The Crystal Skull one is gonna happen soon. For sure. I know seeing projects in the wild is wild. Like, especially if it's not through a friend of a friend. I came across my raccoon family pattern on Facebook, of all places, and I was like, what? But very cool. No, Rosenrod's a very talented designer of spooky patterns. Early? Hi. Okay. That beep boops were early. Okay. Are you gonna sit there? I know. Dad is just doing block stitching. They don't actually need their pattern till they switch colors. Early went robot mode. Yep. But yes, Rosenrod's a very talented spooky designer. You should definitely check them out. They've got freebies and paid patterns. Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. I made the mistake last night of, because usually I browse 1, 2, 3 stitch before bed. I made the mistake of going on Instagram instead. Oh no. Especially since I learned, my biggest gripe with Instagram was that if you go to like your main feed, it's all out of order and it's like a bunch of ads and suggested posts and stuff like that. I learned that there is a way that you can only look at people you are following and it's in chronological order, which is the way that all social media should be. So I have been browsing Instagram more. Trying to, well, I like talking to people, and Instagram's a good place to talk about different designs and things like that. A lot of us post there our designs. So there's a lot of like conversation and stuff like that. If you do follow me, you might have noticed that I also figured out how to use the story feature. I shared some stuff to my story. I am not a boomer. I am one of you, a youth. But I do have to be careful with that because I don't have a personal Instagram. I just have the business Instagram. So if I'm using it for personal reasons, I have to be careful not to work during my off hours. Trying to be very respectful of my office hours. I'm going to finish this row, and then I'm going to switch to a different color just because I need a visual break. Like I said, the ADHD thing, breaking stuff up. I was going to go until the end of this thread, but I need a break sooner than that. So. I'm going to do 702 or 703? 702. This pattern has gone through so many color iteration palettes. Like, obviously I wanted to do green because it's goblins. But which greens are the question. The color of the bricks have been like 6 different colors. But now that I'm actually stitching the brick, I think I need to stick with this one. Or else I will just drive myself insane. Lady Arrow says, I'm glad you have those boundaries and are trying to respect it. Thank you. Yeah, it is, it's good. And it's funny because sometimes stuff like sketching is kind of a gray area, because like I'll sketch to get something out of my head, so I'm not working on it outside of, I'm not just like thinking about work all the time outside of work hours. So that's something that I'll let myself do outside of work hours. But otherwise I do try and keep work stuff to work. And you'll see, even if you send me an email, I have my work, my office hours in my signature. Just winding up this extra floss because someone is running all over my desk. Lady A says they love all the greens. Well, if you love green, you are in the right place. I might use a green or two. I'm gonna get this needle threaded. And then I'll show you guys what I'm using. See if this will work or if it'll just make her run away. So if I just lift her and slide her like this, and then there we go. Yeah, that's it. Good girl. We got some Angie tail, but we also have some desk back. Yeah, I know. Big mean daddy. Yeah, you tell him. So in this piece, I am using, so the goblins are all in like the pistachio kind of green, which is a little bit grayish, a little bit more muted. Thank you, Lady K. We're just gonna give her some little forehead scritches. No elevator butt, because then she'll get up. And then these two greens, so this lighter green, these are the chartreuses. And then, so the chartreuses and the Kelly greens are quite close to each other in terms of tone. So that's what I've been using. So I kind of, it goes from like the lighter chartreuses through into this dark Kelly, almost into the Christmas greens. And then for the brickwork, I'm using fern green. So it looks quite gray. I was originally going to go with beaver gray, which is a greenish gray. Instead, I went for a grayish green, if that makes sense. Hey, Kali, welcome in. Hello, hello. Lady A had a minor panic attack earlier when you realized you didn't have all the colors. Yes, I saw that, and also you were introduced to the new 35 colors that were released in 2017. Lady K says, neat, so many greens. Yes, so many greens. Lady Geek, we got so many ladies in today. Just popping in to say a quick hi, but you need to do a million things today, so you'll be in the background lurking. Nice. Well, we are a great place for a lurk, because it's just me talking about various shades of green while lo-fi plays, so you don't need to be here. Ali says, finally got my computer back set up after the move. Let's go. Oh, that's such a good feeling. It always feels like you're like, oh, this shouldn't be that important, but then like it's kind of the first thing you need. I don't know for you, but for me, when we moved, I wanted to make sure that I like set up my computer right, like that I had decent cable management and everything. So I wanted to like take my time with it, because I have my PC, which is the computer that's in front of me here that I'm streaming on, and then I have a little Chromebook that I use to basically remotely connect to my PC from wherever I need to be remotely working from, remotely doing computer things from. So I was like, I'll just use the Chromebook. And then like 2 days after we moved, I get an email from Just Cross Stitch that's like, oh, by the way, we need you to make some adjustments to a pattern for us. And of course, all of my designing software is on this computer. So I had to I was like, okay, let me just real quick unpack and set up my PC so I can get those edits to you. Hi, Earls. Giving me Angie tail? Giving me Angie face? Riley and I are Angie facing at each other. Mike says, I certainly get what you say about building in separation between your work and personal lives, DH, but I'm sometimes confused by the anonymity of Twitch. In other social media, anonymity is often an excuse for irresponsibility, but here it seems primarily a means of self-protection. I think that might be a generational thing, honestly. I'm an elder millennial, and we kind of grew up at the beginning of the internet. Where there were a lot of creeps on the internet. So we had to learn very quickly how to protect ourselves because tools didn't exist to protect us for us. We had to do it ourselves. So I think a lot of people in in my age bracket, especially, we build a separate online personality so that people can't find us in real life. You guys will be able to find my Facebook profile and stuff because I put my real name on my designs. But most people don't do that. Most people like to stay anonymous for their safety. Yeah.
Drink.
Mama Chaos will welcome in. Thank you so much for the hydrate and the breathe and stretch. So actually what we're going to do is I'm going to breathe and stretch, but we're going to take a quick ad break. So I'm going to switch on over to the break screen. I'm not going to be talking. You can just enjoy the animals. I will see you guys back here in 3 minutes. Welcome in, Mama Chaos. Hang out, please. And yeah, I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. All right, bye. Hi everyone, we should be back. And yes, I think Early did make some beeps. Early's having she's having some treaty treats. Let's see if I can get her to... Early? Early. Early. You have to look up. Here. No. Okay. Here, let's go this way. Early. Treaty treat. Okay. Okay, you're not good at that. That's okay. You can have treats on the desk. Now my hands are all treaty. I need to... Here, eat your treats. Little tiny thing of hand sanitizer. I have the autisms. I have the sensories. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't like the smell of the hand sanitizer? I'm sorry, baby. But I need to get the treats off my fingers. Still a treat here. Later treat. But yes, hi Mama Chaos, welcome in. You're up 24 hours yesterday, just woke up. Oh god. Need to send a streamer care package? Aw, well, that's sweet. Thank you so much for dropping by. Go get coffee if you need coffee. We'll be around. Gwen is trying to remember how to do crochet I-cord. Like, I have done a crochet I-cord before. I have no memory of this place. So far you found 2 different methods and neither of them feel like what you were doing before. Did you try Nitty Natty? I think that's the one that I used. That might have just been an applied I-cord. I don't know. Mama Chaos and Cryptic have beef. And by beef, I mean they keep scaring each other on stream. It's hilarious. Lady K says, did Pow ever lay eggs? No, they are still inside of her. She's showing absolutely no signs of discomfort or anything like that, so we're just keeping on. I did get the number for a local exotics vet, so if we do end up taking her to see someone, we've got someone like on deck, but right now it's just wait and see. She'll lay them when she's ready to. Mama Chaos is continuing to wake up slowly, then shower, then coffee, then working on 2 cars today. Well, more power to you. That's awesome. I'm very impressed by people who can do their own auto work. I think that in high school, if I had been smart, I would have done transport tech, which was our name for like auto shop. I would have done transport tech instead of whatever bullshit literature class I did. I think I would have gotten a lot more use out of it. Because I'm so glad that I was muted when they saw their baby bean. Yeah, Toot came over here to deliver treats and check on the snakes, and Lil Ghostface is right at the front of his enclosure, and Toot had a very small meltdown that my mic might have picked up if I hadn't been muted. And yes, Lady A, Toot just Lady A asked about Pow's eggs. Yes, we are. Pow the tortoise is expecting it. There's eggs. There's eggs going on inside Pow. They're infertile, but it happens. Like, you know, chickens and stuff. Toot talking about our little ghosty. He's so incredibly cute. He murders me daily. He's a very adorable snake. Mama Chaos says, I only knew oil changes before I met my husband. He is one of those people that can learn anything from a video. Loving the cross stitch. Oh, I'm glad. I'm working on, this is one of my own designs. It's going to be released in my shop in a couple of weeks. Called Goblin Coffee, and it's a little shop. This is Toot the Drink Goblin. Toot the Drink Goblin runs Goblin Coffee. So if you are in the town of St. Skelly and you need some hydration, you would stop by Goblin Coffee and Toot will take care of you.
Drink.
Thanks for the hydrate, Lady K. Mama K says, I think I saw you designing it on stream one day. Yes, yeah, I was working. This is one of the ones that I've worked on stream. We were talking earlier a lot about designing and my design process and stuff like that. But yeah, like Mama Chaos said, if you come to the co-working streams, often you will be able to see me doing some design instead of boring admin work. It really does go through cycles where I'm either doing a ton of designing or a ton of admin. It's very rarely balanced between the two. Lady Arga asked, do you cut your floss to a specific size when you work? Kind of, not really. I don't like measure it to the inch, but I usually cut it about the same length. And what I do is I take the end of the floss between my fingers like this, and then I stretch my arm out all the way until the bobbin's about at my shoulder, and I cut it, and then I do that. If I'm not doing a loop start, I cut it there. If I'm doing a loop start, I'll like double that so I can do a loop start. But that's about an arm, like literally an arm's length is how long I cut my floss. Good morning, Moon. Welcome in. Welcome in. Lady K says the Force guides you for the right floss size. Trust the Force. Yes, I cut my floss on vibes. Lady A asks, what's a loop start? So there are two like main ways to start your bread. One is a buried start, which is where you pull your floss through, and then you basically do a few stitches, making sure that the tail of your floss is covered by your stitches. That's a buried start. A loop start is when you basically take one very long length of thread, fold it in half so it's double thickness, but then when you do your first stitch, you put the needle through the loop at the end, basically, and that secures it. There are different ways of doing loop starts. Lady Geek says an away knot is another common way to start. Yeah, I forgot about those because I don't use them. Away knots is a different way of starting where, like, I think especially full coverage uses that. I use the same kind of idea for weaving in. Maybe those are too old-fashioned. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I just don't use it. So what you would do with an away knot, you use it more often for sparse coverage. Interesting. Is you would do something wrong. Oh god, okay, I need to pick this out. Anyways, away knot, you tie a knot in your floss, and then say your first stitch is over here. You go from the front, you go in, under, and then up around. So basically you end up with a long length of thread. It would probably look a bit like this across the back. And then as you stitch, this will get covered up by the stitches. So you don't do anything to bury it at the beginning. You just kind of like, you let the stitches work themselves up around it. And then once the thread is sufficiently buried, you just snip the knot and trim the thread. It is a very easy way to start threads and also end threads. But it does rely on there being more stitching to do. So if it's like the last thread that you're starting, it might not work. But the advice I always give for ending threads is I don't worry about getting it under a ton of threads, a ton of other stitches. I'll only do like 2 or 3. But if there's a big open area, like for example here, I know I'm going to be filling in all of these stitches. So if I were to end this, I could just kind of like stretch it across here or across here. And then, so if I buried it, say like this, all of this would get stitched over as I stitch the bricks, and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Lady Geek says, if it's full coverage, I just bury it. In sparse coverage where I'm not sure if I can secure it, I use an away knot. Then when more stitches come in, I actually thread that long tail of the away knot and run it under stitches. Maybe I've been doing it wrong. I don't think there's any right or wrong, as long as your stitches are secured in a way that you're happy with. Yeah. Basically, as long as you're making tiny X's or tiny lines, depending on what you're doing, there's really there's no crying in baseball. There's no wrong way to cross stitch. A good example, actually, Moon. Moon does a loop start, does it completely differently than I do. Moon also does her crosses the opposite direction that I do. So like I do, as you can see, I'm doing all of my legs. I'm going this way first, and then I'm going to go back this way. Whereas Moon would start on this side and go this way, and then this way. It's very interesting. Lady Geek says no crying in baseball, but lots of crying in cross stitch. There can be. There can be. And then you put the project in a bag, and then the bag goes in a box, and then you don't look in the box for a couple of years, and the crying has stopped, and then everything's better. Not that I've done that often, just with a couple of things. Oh, thank you so much for the bobbinate. Let's pull that out here. Where's my bobbinate box? What shall I bobbinate today? This is 209. And it's on one of the good bobbins, so I don't need to switch that up. Are you one of the good bobbins? No, you're not. Need a new bobbin. If you want to know what the good bobbins are, this is a good bobbin. It's a DMC brand. This is the cheap Amazon bobbin. And the difference is, if you look at the width of the notch on the bottom there, the cheap Amazon ones have a little tiny notch that is very hard to use. The thing about the DMC bobbins, I really don't think you're going to be able to see this on camera. I'm trying to see if like the light will reflect it. But it has embossed into the plastic. It says DMC and then number and then a line for you to write the number in. But this is like the smooth side. So I always flip mine over to kind of the rougher side because that holds onto the marker better and it doesn't smudge. There's my bobbinate tip for you. Label on the smooth side. I know a lot of people swear by the stickers. I've never had a sticker stay stuck. Toot has never had a sticker stay stuck, which is saying more. Moon prefers the bobbins with the tiny notches. We might have some that I can give you then. I can't remember if I just ditched them or if I put them in a box somewhere. Lady A says that they use tape the number from the label on. Yeah, I've seen people do that too. There also, you can buy like sets of little number labels.
Thank you, Toot.
Thank you for the hydrate, Toot. Moon says I find the wider notches, the floss just comes undone. There is a knot in my floss. That is illegal. That is a factory knot. I like never get factory knots in DMC skeins. Alright, let me hydrate real quick. Delicious. How's the volume of the music in the background, by the way? Yeah, like I've gotten factory knots in yarn a lot, but I think that might be the first one I've ever seen in embroidery floss. Music's fine, thanks, Cheryl. And Mike says that he's been working with the 209 as well. But yeah, and the one thing I would really love, if you guys haven't seen them, Pip and Chip do like these really fancy bobbins that have the numbers they're both embossed and also they have like color injected in, like it's not a sticker, it's like painted or printed on. And you can get the entire like 542 bobbins that you need for an entire set or something. I want one. They're expensive. I still want one. Mike says, I can't decide which method to use, so when working on a project, I sometimes have bobbins inside of floss bags. That's fair. I'm still trying to figure out the best method for me, but I think, honestly, I need to change up my methods. Because, ADHD. Mama Kea says crowdfund. You guys are already so generous in helping us take care of our kids. I would not feel comfy crowdfunding just for something silly like a bobbin set. Cheryl says the stickers that come with the bobbins and boxes you get do not come unstuck. Oh, that's good. That's good. And yes, Pip and Chip, Lady A. They do a lot of different floss storage options. So we bobbinate and we bobbinate and we have bobbin boxes. That's how we store. But when it comes to projects, Toot and I both have our own methods of how we store our floss. You guys might know that Toot has an auto kitter. So if they want to do a cross-stitch piece, they just kind of like speak into the universe that they want to work on this particular piece, and then you know, fabric appears, and then their bobbin box disappears and then reappears with the bobbins in order inside of it of all the colors they need. Yay, done. So that's how Toot deals with their bobbinating situations. Right now I'm really loving these project bags. I toss the bobbins that I need in here, and then the goblin most of my projects also fit in the bags. I think I need a couple more Nurges this size. I have 2 Nurges that are the slightly larger size, which are fantastic, but I think I need a couple more this size. And like, yeah, just chunk. I love it. And this is my prototype potato sack from Charles. The other way that I store my floss is in the little the pencil boxes that I was showing you guys. So I'll put all the floss for a project in here, and most of mine have a like a planner sticker here that I can just label in reusable, in erasable ink. That's a number 2 Nurge. What are you? Yes, you're a number 2. It's number 2. So yeah, one thing I am always mindful of is because the ADHD urge to yeet, like drop what I'm doing or leave out everything I need for a project until I'm done the project, is not good when it's floss and cats. So I am trying to be much more controlled about my floss storage methods when they're outside of the bobbin boxes. Charles says I need to make more of those. Yes, yes you do. And yes, Lady A, you can get Nurge from Amazon. You can buy them from like most needle workshops, I think. But I got mine from Amazon, and from a member of the community sent me one as well. And yes, Gwen, 123 Stitch is one of the online needle shops. ONS is the abbreviation. That'll be good. But since I feel like there's so much size difference between the number 2 and the number 3, there really is. Like, I feel like there should be like a 2.5 or something. Like, it's... They only come in 4 sizes. And I feel like they need some half sizes. Out. Easier than hoops? I like them more than hoops because they're square and cross stitch is square, so that helps my brain, but they're also lighter than Q-snaps. I'm gonna wheel myself over here, so if you hear some weird noises, please hold. Ah! Okay, so these are my hoops that I use. It's a cheap Amazon hoop, but the reason that I love this one is it has this ridge in it. So you can see there's like a ridge in the inner hoop and a ridge in the outer hoop, and they like lock together. And that keeps the tension so much easier than like a traditional wooden hoop. And Nerges have that same ridge. This one I'm not getting fantastic tension on because I don't know if you can tell, but my fabric is actually slightly smaller than the Nerge. But they have that same ridge. And once you get it, they're a little bit more of a fight to get in. But once you get them in and like taut, you don't have to retighten the fabric. Like I was finding with regular wooden hoops, I would have to stop and basically fix the fabric all of the time. Hey, no worries. We're good with questions. Questions are like Toot said, like Gwen said, questions are good. Questions are how we learn. And that's what we're here for. I love talking about stuff that I am passionate about. Gwen says, why my brain? When DH says the ridges locked together, I go, make them kith. Now kith. Yeah. Sames. We have the same brain rot. Yes. But yeah, I definitely do recommend the Nerges. You feel like you're 15 years behind. I mean, I think a lot of stuff changed very rapidly because I started stitching when I was a kid, so in the 90s, and then I stopped. And then I picked it up again around 2008. No, not 2000. 2010, maybe, excuse me. Sorry, just had to take a drink. I picked it up around maybe like 2010, 2010.
Thank you, Toot.
And stuff had changed, but not a lot. Thank you for the hydrate. This is one of my Ray Dunn mugs. It's pumpkin spice. It's got little like raised pumpkins on it. I love it. Like some stuff had changed, but not a lot. 2018, I got back into it, and like, again, some stuff had changed. There were more patterns available. Facebook was starting to get really big for cross stitch. Pinterest, you could find free patterns. And then when I got back into it in like 2020, 2021, I feel like a lot changed very rapidly. I was seeing so much new stuff, new types of projects, new designers. I mean, Etsy had exploded with all kinds of really cool designs. And I'm still learning new stuff. Like I only discovered Nerges like maybe 6 months ago. I don't even think you're 15 years behind. I think you're like 3 years behind, which I feel like it's really been in the last 3 or 4 years that there's been kind of a boom in cross stitch. Mike says, I've gradually switched to using nurges a lot, but your bamboo hoops still work well. Mine are old and kind of ratty. Yeah, they still, like, I have bamboo hoops. I still use them. Absolutely. The nurges are a bit pricey for my blood anyways, but they're really worth it considering how much work I get out of them. Lady A says, I have cash for crafts right now, so I will make a purchase. Walmart has a set that has a very small nurge. I'm working on minis now. Yeah, I think I got the same set. It has like 4 of them. I got that so I could kind of see what I like to use, and I tend to use the number 2 and 3 the most. This is the number 2. The number 1 is like super teeny. Super teeny. I was actually using that on this, and it was almost big enough that I could have done the whole thing using the teeny one. Like it fit, like it, I couldn't get maybe 2 columns and 2 rows of stitches in. It was so frustrating. I'm like, I don't want to have to move the hoop. So I switched over to the number 2, even though my fabric is a little bit small. Mike says a lot of the ladies in my in-person stitching group are stitched totally in hand, even with really large linen pieces. That's amazing. I've looked at a few tutorials for stitching in hand. So stitching in hand is without a hoop or a frame or anything. It's just got fabric. Toot says I'm feeling the urge. The urge to nurge. You are welcome to try my nurge. And honestly, so I got the set of 4, and the light blue set was $2 cheaper than the green set, and I went for the green set because it's lime green. Dude, I can get you set up with a nurge after stream. But yeah, stitching in hand, I saw a couple of tutorials on like how to do it without, because my thing about stitching in hand is that I was always trying to tension the fabric because I was still trying to go in and out like that. Whereas I think a lot of people who stitch in hand do more of like a sewing method where they kind of work with the fact that the fabric is floppy and not against it, because Erminurge. That completely distracted me. Mike says some folks I've found don't like super taut fabric. If you use the sewing method, you definitely don't want to use an urge. Exactly. I don't use the sewing method. I've never used the sewing method. It's not how I learned, and I don't find it comfortable. I know that probably I could get better at it, and probably I could get my stitches to be neat using the sewing method. I don't have any desire to work on that particular skill. When I tried it, it was okay, but I was still finding myself trying to tension the fabric with my hand, which made my hand cramp instantly. And then my stitches just look sloppy. Yes, hydrate as penance. If Toot chokes on drink, all must hydrate. It's morning, you're on your second coffee? Good. Coffee good. Thursday morning stream, I was dragging. I was like, why am I not waking up? And then I realized that the entire stream I'd been drinking my decaf coffee and not my caffeinated Dr. Pepper. So that might have had something to do with it, but with the fact that I didn't have caffeine until noon. Why am I playing floss chicken with this piece of floss when I definitely need more? Right. Okay, so this is a good example. So right now I could bury this here, or I could just like go up here. I could go back and forth and make sure. I could just go like this. Boom. So you see this, like, this is the thread that I just finished. By the time I finish stitching in all of this blank space, that thread will be completely buried and I don't need to worry about it anymore. Now I'm going back to my brick color. Maybe we should have a video game cafe in St. Skelly. Who would run the video game cafe? Or is like St. Skelly a little bit like of a sleepy town that wouldn't they'd have a quilt store, but they wouldn't have a video game cafe or a game store? Oh, I could just do like a game store or an arcade. Arcade would be fun. Cryptic's Cryptid Computer Cafe. Maya has no coffee and is sad. Oh, I'm sorry, Maya. Definitely get some coffee. Some coffee going. Are you still planning on doing your body doubling stream today? If you've updated Oh, you are. Okay, good. Good. So yeah, if you guys don't follow Maya, can I get another shout out for Maya? If you don't follow Maya already, they are going to try some body doubling today at noon Central. We're going to all get together, hang out, and support Maya in getting some stuff done around the house. Support ourselves in getting some stuff done around the house. I think I'm going to use that time. I've got a lot of cleaning I want to get done in the kitchen, and I also want to work on some needle minders. Just grinding down the posts of the pins. I have pretty much slowed down in making needle minders for myself, pretty much, and now I'm just making needle minders for everyone else, so yeah. I keep coming out of my office and just handing Toot a needle minder at random intervals. Like, here, this one's for you now. Yay! Gwen has the button and button loop attached. Let's go. Ghosty's weaponry. Or would Ghosty run the video store? Instead of Blockbuster, it's Ghostbuster. Ben says, I'm not sure if I like the button loop. Like, it's solidly attached, but it pulls funny. I missed the one above Ghosty. GG's GG Cafe. Yeah, I like that. But would Gigi have a cafe, or would he be like formal dining? Because he's always in a tuxedo. You're not sure if you like the button loop. It's solidly attached, but it pulls funny. Yeah, you might have to wear it for a bit and see if you like a different closure. Mike says, I'm thinking of getting a second needle minder or making one. I definitely have more than two. Yay, lady, I can get the shutting down. Chip and Gigi's. Lady A can get the nerd set before they go away. Yay, that's exciting. I can do words in an order. Who says that, himbo? He'd be a lifeguard, Baywatch style. He'd be a lifeguard, but at like the town fountain. You were still able to pull the thing over your head with the button attached, so maybe you just sew the button to both sides and have it be a fake button. Yeah, that works too. That definitely works too. I feel like there's going to be more stitching of the bricks than there actually is going to be, because once I get down here, like, there's not very much brick in this area. It's really just this block that I'm doing. And I've already done so much with you guys here on stream, which is amazing. I'm really excited to do the details of the bricks. I don't know how well you can see it in the little preview photo, but I did some backstitch detailing on the bricks, similar to what I did for Point Hope. I just like that little effect. Chip and Gigi's, where he completely misses the joke and stares at you until you give him chips. Chip and Gigi, where Gigi makes fish and chips in a bow tie. Alright, Gigi's Chip Shop. I think I can do that. Lady A says I got little cat magnetic needle minders too. Yes. Nice, 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 nice. Now let's, I've got a bunch on my desk. So the ones that I'm thinking of sending to my bestie are these two. Ah. This is one of the ones that I made ages ago, and then this one. This one's for Toot, little lost boy. This one is also for Toot. It's a fruit bat. Toot bat. These three are for me. I got... Ah! They're sticking together already. I got Winnie, I got a cat, I got Chucky family. This one's pretty heavy. I don't know how much I'll actually use it. Like, these ones are very heavy too, so kind of depends on the project. And those are just the ones that are like right there. I may or may not have gotten a pizza pan. And this is one that I just made for Toot. It's a little unhinged, and I have to be very gentle with it. But go. Turn around. Right eyes. Ah. Okay. He is a lot. Okay. Let's see. So the magnet is in his face, and he's supposed to dangle, but all of his little connector joints are metallic, and they stick to his face. So he's very cute and dangly, but yeah. I love him, but he's a lot. And we have a special guest here. Foomp foomp. They're in that drawer. Yep. And yes, Lady A, what makes them magnetic is magnets. Yeah, there's our himbo boy. Gwen says Lamau the Skelly, also the nonchalance of turnaround bright eyes. What? That's what you say after you say turnaround. It's turnaround bright eyes. GG, is Rosenrock giving you some treats? Yeah. Yeah, we stand Banshee TBB. Yeah. Who's a handsome man? Blowing out Daddy's camera with his handsomeness. With his handsomeness. Hmm? Oh, it's in the living room. Okay. Toot's here to heck shit up. I just said heck and then didn't. There's nothing there, baby. You're dumb. What's on your head? Why are there treats on your head? Yeah, you're a good boy. Are you gonna stay here? Toot just put a furblet on my desk as well. I don't know if you guys are familiar with furblets, but they're like mini Furbies. This one is my favorite because it's the gamer one. See if he can. Hi, Gigi. The pew 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 gets me every time. My furblet. Pew 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 pew. Yes, there are furblets. Furbies are friggin' expensive, man. I don't know if you've looked at the price of a Furby lately. Hi, Gigi boy. Are you gonna bring Mama's skeleton back to her? You just gonna stand on Daddy's keyboard? Yes, Furbies are expensive now, and they've made Long Furby canon. He's called DJ Furby. He's called DJ Furby, and he's long. And he's like 90 bucks. Like, there's no reason for a Furby to be $90. I did get, however, a DJ Furblet, which is a small Furby, but also long. Gigi, can I pick up your purring on the mic? Okay, I don't know how much of that was purring and how much of that was just Gigi rubbing on the mic. You heard exactly one purr? You got one purr? Okay. Here, Gigi, you want to do another one? Because I have to bend my head to do it, so I can't actually look at my soundbar to see if it's picking anything up. But, like, he is aggressively loud right now. You heard nothing that time? Okay. Maybe I will record some GG purrs. Because right now I have like background filters on my mic to cut out background noise, so it's also cutting out his purrs, unfortunately. I'm getting baths now. We've got to get the mic out to test the secret stream setup anyways. Yes, we do. I want to do that as soon as we can get some stuff shifted around. Hi. Alright, Cryptic. We're only going for another like 10 minutes, so I might miss you. But have a good one if I don't see you. Enjoy lunch. I'm gonna have to put the lung damage thing in my channel trailer when I actually do it. Oh, you found a secret treat. About why I only do short talking streams. Boop. I plucked a white hair from his butt. Two hours is not short. It is. 2 hours is a short stream compared to streams. I mean, Cryptic does, what, 4 hour streams 5 times a week? 4 times a week? Where did my needle go? It's right there. Cool, cool. Hi, Earls. A gift from Earls. Okay, Gigi, where are you going now? Early goes beep boop. Gigi goes, I settle here. Mike says, by the way, your new tiny autumn sampler was a lot of fun to stitch. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you liked it. Gigi, please get off the keyboard. Thank you. I'm so glad you you enjoyed it. I had fun with that one. I think the tiny winter sampler is... I think the tiny winter sampler is going to be January's freebie. January or February, probably January. And then I'll do spring in the spring. Yeah, that's the GG remix. He's a good loving boy, but he has absolutely no concept of how large he is. Yeah. I'm just gonna press against him. We're gonna do little cuddles. Little cuddles. But actually, I'm going to finish off this thread here, and I think that's going to be a good point for us to wrap up for the day. At least with the stitching. I'll chat for a little bit, but because I am, you can hear it in my voice, I'm starting to struggle a bit. Lydia says, when I started with my micro streams then. Ow! I just stabbed my hand, my finger, it hurt. Daddy needs the keyboard. Okay. Ow. He was playing Log Driver's Waltz as I was trying to sleep last night. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so here's a very blown out goblin coffee. There we go. I got quite a bit done in the top section. I got some of the green done. But yeah, I'm just really I'm really happy to be able to share this one with you guys in a couple of weeks. But we are going to wrap up stream there. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. Let's see. That's the screen I wanted. There we go. So, shift around a little bit. But yeah, thanks guys for coming by for our Saturday morning stitching. Thank you, Toot, for the bits. And yeah. So I am I'm just gonna put up a couple of the links here. Apparently I'm in all caps now. Thanks guys. So I put up the link to the shop. Check it out. The newest pattern is Halloween treats. There's going to be new spooky patterns all month and, you know, all rest of the year as well. I will be back Monday afternoon for co-working. Your spooky older sibling Toot will be back tomorrow morning for Ghost Church with Ghosty. So definitely make sure you're following them for all of the good body doubling vibes. You can join us in the Discord. You can also find me on Instagram. And if you are looking for more information on crafting, if you need tutorials, if you want to rewatch a stream, if you want to see more of the kids, then head on over to YouTube. I have a wide variety of videos and I just rearranged the playlist a little bit, so it should be a little bit easier to find what you're looking for. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I'm just going to do another quick shout out from Maya, who's going to be going live here in a couple of hours. Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was such a fun stream. Mike says, and keep your eyes open for the Christmas 2025 Just Cross Stitch magazine with the Cozy DH pattern. Yes, as soon as I can get my hands on a copy, I'll be talking that up on stream. All right, so yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to put up the raid message, and we're going to find someone to raid out to. I was thinking of hopping on the Crypt Community raid train. I think we're going to keep the cozy crafting vibes going. So let me just find someone to head out to. GG has taken over the entirety of my desk. Alright, we are going to go see Wonderful. They are working on Clue 1 of the Westnitz Musicale. So if you don't want any spoilers on Clue 1, you should not come with us. But you should. You should come with us. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'm going to start the raid now. My friends, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the Discord server. I'll see you in the coffee shop. I will see you in the little town of St. Skelly. But most importantly, my friends, I will see you in my heart. Alright. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.